Give everybody a minute to get tuned in. Let's get this shared, put out there. You got the chat pulled up?
I do now. Steve, we will have a video up in 1 second. We have
Yeah, we're waiting.
Yeah, we have
for a few
whole
minutes.
little get up thing that we got going on.
All right, are we ready?
I'm ready when you are.
All right. Jennifer Lawrence weighs in on HR1. Kamala Harris gets owned by Lester Holt, and the lab leak theory gains more traction. All this and more tonight on Embers of Liberty.
Welcome to Embers of Liberty.
Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America.
In the
These acts
councils
shatter
of government,
steel,
we must
but
guard
they
against
cannot dent
the
the steel.
acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Inherently and historically opposed to secret society.
We, as
secret
Americans,
oaths,
have
and
the
a secret
capacity
treaty.
now, as we've had in
We
the
decided
past,
long ago
to do whatever
the
needs
dangers
to
of
be done
excessive and unwarranted
to
concealment
preserve this last
Certain
and
facts
greatest bastion of freedom.
far outweigh the dangers
In this
which are
present
cited to
crisis,
justify it.
government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Welcome back to Embers of Liberty, everybody.
That went very smoothly.
No technical difficulties tonight. I like it.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I told you I'd figure how to do that out. And guess what?
Nice.
We did it.
It's
We
working
did it.
good.
We are here. We're live with video again. Quite nice.
We got our boy Cody over there in the corner.
What's up, Cody?
What's up, guys?
So, in typical Embers of Liberty fashion, how was the week?
Well, uneventful for me.
Oh, yeah, it rained all week.
It rained. I mean, well, see, like Monday and Tuesday, like you couldn't tell. Like me and Cody went to Waffle House for lunch or brunch.
Brunch.
Brunch. It was brunch. And like 1 minute it looked like the bottom was about to fall out, and next minute the sun would be out. So we pretty much didn't work. It was like that Monday and Tuesday, and we didn't work Monday or Tuesday. I kind of regret not working Monday or Tuesday because I was like, well, I maybe could have got out there. But then Wednesday and Thursday, it was no chance. It rained all day. Both
it
days.
definitely did. Definitely put a damper on my disc golf endeavors.
Man, nobody cares about your disc golf. I couldn't make money.
Well, I mean, I made money because I went to work, but I couldn't play disc golf at all. Barely even got to throw on breaks and stuff at work, because I normally do that.
Oh,
We've got a big open field, but it was pretty blah all week. So I did a lot of sim racing. Got the old force feedback wheel and pedal set out and did some Formula One sim racing, and that was fun. But
nice.
Other than that, I didn't really do anything. Cody, how was your week?
Holy crap, they asked.
Hey!
We're going places, man. We're going places.
Yeah, it took us a while to get used to you being here.
Yeah. I mean, it started out all right, I guess. It was a little slow. Rain kind of puts a damper on, obviously, my job style and everything.
Yep.
When it's raining and stuff, nobody wants to get out and do fun things. We want to sit at home. Work week wrapped out pretty well. Just got a little bit of bad news, but we'll roll with the punches and go on with it.
You can share with us.
We're definitely sorry for your loss, Cody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Passed
So
away.
for anybody that's listening doesn't know me, I ride motorcycles quite a bit. It's one of my favorite pastimes. There's a little small piece of heaven, I guess I'll call it, up East Tennessee in the mountains. And made a lot of good friends up there, and unfortunately, one of them is no longer with us now. He was killed in a head-on collision today, so that's never a good thing to hear. But it's part of it. We all know the risk when we throw a leg over a bike, and we roll with the punches and keep going. So
Cody definitely knows the risks.
Yep.
Cody had a severe accident years ago that was nearly fatal for him. So. It's a dangerous hobby to have, but rather die doing what you love than doing something you don't love. So
dang, Skippy.
Anyway, now that the weeks have all been covered,
I got a surprise.
What's your surprise?
I got a surprise.
Wait, what?
I got a surprise.
What's the surprise? Oh crap! Seriously?
Oh, I'm dead serious.
Oh, I hate you right now.
That's exactly what Cody said that you were going to say.
Yes! It was like verbatim. I was like, this is going to go one of two ways. He's either going to say this, this, and this, or he's going to rage and hit you.
I'm not going to hit him, but the thought did cross my mind to take the hat off and throw it at him.
This is fair. my show get up now.
No. I wholeheartedly reject
Told
this
you he would say
reality.
no.
Get that thing off your head.
I'm at least keeping it on the desk.
That's fine. You can keep it on the desk. You ain't wearing that. It looks like a giant Hershey's Kiss up there on top of the TV.
No! Oh my God, it does.
Yeah.
How do you know that you're...
Hey, why don't you just
Forever
put it
fat.
on the...
There we go.
Oh, God. Okay. Anyway, so now that your surprise is done, let's talk some freedom things.
Freedom things.
Because, So...
So hard not to finish that.
I know, right? It seemed like it was a fairly uneventful week, but there were certain things that happened.
Well, see, did we talk about the whole charity thing that Matt Walsh did last week?
Okay, so yes, we talked. So I meant to put that in my rundown, and I forgot to. So Matt Walsh, a very conservative political commentator who works for the Daily Wire, started a GoFundMe for AOC's grandmother,
Right.
which promptly raised over $100,000. And at last recording, that's all we knew.
Right.
Well, the next day, my friend Matt sends us a link. That, of course you did, Beth. The next day, Matt, who watched the show last week, sends me another link where AOC and her grandmother have rejected the $100,000. So I guess you would rather blame the orange man than help your grandmother in any way. Especially if it's a bunch of deplorables that have donated money to your grandmother's housing situation. Like, why?
Well, see, here's the thing. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I think she lied about it to begin with. I bet there may have been like some roof damage, and she made
I
it
bet
sound
that
like
wasn't even Abuela's house.
could have been, or could have not been, or what? Yeah,
Yeah, something. It's pretty despicable though, because if you're going to complain about not getting aid, and that's why your grandmother's living conditions are the way they are, and then reject aid because it came from the side of the aisle that you don't like,
you're literally no better than the people you don't like.
You're either a liar or you just want to make somebody into a devil.
Yeah,
That's the only options.
searching for monsters that aren't there.
Which, let me remind you, the libertarian way is that we help our common men and women.
Right.
We help, not the government. We, as individuals, help.
Yep.
I'll give a perfect example of my libertarianism shining through. At the beginning of the pandemic, I put it out to everybody, all of my friends. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will help you in any way that I can, because I have not been impacted by the pandemic. I have been very fortunate and blessed that I've suffered no financial repercussions for this. So if you need something, let me know.
Right.
That's what a libertarian should do.
Right.
There were a couple of people that reached out and said, hey, can you help me with this or that? And I gladly did. But it was very few and far between. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with the prideful human nature that we all have, where we don't want to ask for help. I'm the world's worst when it comes to asking for help. I don't want to. But, the thing is the help was offered and promptly rejected. So you either needed the help or you didn't.
Right.
And if you rejected the help, which meant all of the donors got refunded their money, like you can't repurpose that money, because that's the policy. Like it automatically refunds the money when the recipient rejects the funds.
Right.
So it shut the fundraiser down, sent the money all back. It's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it in any other way other than where's the button? You moved my buttons.
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, Representative D. Twitch.
Is a hypocrite.
Yeah, I think she is. I think, just like a lot of them, they talk about how they hate capitalism and stuff, but they're walking around with Apple Watches and iPhones and Starbucks.
Wearing the brand new Nikes made with forced slave labor in
No,
China.
you want to know something that to me is very, very, very ironic?
What's that?
The fact that she didn't buy a Prius or some other type of hybrid or electric vehicle.
That was way cheaper than a Tesla?
No, she bought a Tesla. Like, Elon Musk is like the complete opposite.
I don't know about that. I think Elon's pretty liberal.
I don't think so.
But I think he's more classically liberal, not...
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about that tonight, too.
Not leftist liberal. I think he's classically liberal, which is, technically what us as libertarians
Apparently, from what I've been told this week, that's technically what we are supposed to be.
We are. We're classically liberal.
But trying to tell the world that is something different.
It's because the word liberal has been shifted and changed so much in recent times. Is that the founding fathers were classically liberal.
Right. Yes.
Liberal today means something completely
Right.
different than what it used to, but libertarians are classically liberal.
Yes.
We're fiscally conservative, socially liberal. Right?
Yeah.
I don't care about marijuana. I don't care what you do.
If you like
in
to,
your
if you
free
like to,
time.
if you like to pack the fudge in your bedroom, man, that's. I mean, whether I agree with it or
That's
not,
a crude way of putting it, but yes.
that's the funny part. That's the
Yeah.
funny part of the show.
Well, I mean, not everybody's going to agree with that. You know,
I think it's funny.
I mean, whether or not I think it's funny is irrelevant.
I'm pretty sure gay people think that was funny.
It may. I don't know about that.
Dude, I know there's some gay people out there that think that was funny. What about you?
Well,
Cody?
I mean, the mark of a good human is that you can prod yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can take the shots. So
Or prod
Stephen
other people.
made a good point. There's a difference between getting help from those who care and those who
But he
care.
he put the
Well,
those who
yeah,
care.
but I mean, either way.
Yeah.
You know, it works either way. Yeah, and he's right. It's absolutely right.
Yep. I agree.
You know, she wanted to make Trump the devil, and that's what she did.
yeah, she don't actually care if things get fixed down there.
No. So, okay, so
Well, I mean, that's because if she actually cared, why don't she move her grandmother to the United States?
yeah, with all the money she has, she should easily be able to do that.
Right.
But that's not going to happen. So,
Yep.
sorry about your luck.
Hypocrite.
Steven, I'm glad that you're able to watch tonight.
You know Steven?
Yes, Steven is our fan in Michigan.
Oh, it's Steven. I
Yeah.
thought there was some new dude that just chimed in. I was like, well, dang, that's kind of cool. We're getting some new people.
No, he has been listening. He listens occasionally. He doesn't listen every show. but,
Yeah. I wouldn't listen to every show either. I don't listen to every show, and I'm on the podcast.
I typically do listen to all of them, but that's just because I want to make sure that
People listen to us? It's amazing.
oh my god,
You
It's
guys
like
get
we're
paid.
famous.
we don't get paid to do this. That's for sure. So anyway,
Paid with my presence.
We have 6 people, which I'm on the stream. Are you on the
so
stream?
am I.
So we have 3.
Beth is on probably.
If Beth's on, so we have one person. If you're out there, chime in,
I
introduce
think
yourself.
Brittany
Could be.
is actually watching.
Chris said he was watching. I don't know
Oh
if he
yeah,
is or not.
Chris.
Brittany, if you're watching, leave us a comment.
Chris,
If you're
same
out
to
there,
you.
say hi, man. Y'all, girl, miss,
Yeah, anybody
Lady.
that's watching,
dude.
feel free to comment and let us know what's going on, what you think. She sent me a text. My shirt says y'all need Jesus. So Brittany, just be sure to comment in the show so I don't have to change screens constantly. I'm about to give a shout to Matt and tell him that we're live.
Which, by the way, I'm drinking out of the Freedom Cup.
The Freedom Cup. Sorry guys, I meant to tell Matt that we were live, but I forgot to.
Oh, we got 7th person coming up here.
Okay,
You
so
know, we're gonna have a whole 10 people.
yeah, it's weird.
We're used to having like 1.
So, let's get into some of the stuff that I put. Oh, I was gonna say something else. So I was watching or listening to the Joe Rogan podcast the other day on my way back from Kentucky.
Yep.
The episode with Dan Crenshaw on it, the most recent one.
Oh yeah.
And he made a really valid point. Dan is very libertarian leaning, but he runs as a Republican because it's the only way.
Well, he has libertarian points, but I've heard that he's got something like he's a fan of red flag laws or something like that.
So all politicians kind of.
You're not gonna find one, and that's one. Okay, so that's one point I tried to make with somebody today was that's the reason why libertarianism has a hard time catching a hold of things is because they don't play the game.
No, we don't, and
that's kind of the problem. Is people are like, well, you don't want to jeopardize your values. It's like, so here's the thing, like you got to learn to give a little in some places, or else we're not ever going to get anywhere. Like you got to play the game, or we're not getting anywhere. We're just going to stay in our little corner over here.
Yeah, we really do need to learn to play the game a little bit, but also we don't want to compromise our values.
Right. I mean, but like the little things, which I don't know about red flag laws being a little thing, but
No, that's not a little thing. That's a big thing.
I'm saying like
But I mean, Donald Trump was a fan of red flag laws too. You know,
Yeah.
take the guns first,
Ask
investigate
questions
later.
later. Yeah.
You know, so I he made a good point though. Democrats and leftists tend to just blurt out the first solution available without considering the trade-offs.
right.
Where the Republican Party and the Libertarians come in is that we examine the trade-offs, but ultimately we need to listen to the wants of the other party. And
Right.
he's right. We do need to listen to the wants of the other parties, but we also have to keep things in check.
Right.
If you haven't, I highly recommend listening to the Joe Rogan Experience that had Dan Crenshaw on it. It was about a month and a half ago, I think. Dan makes some really good points. And, you know, honestly, if I had to pick someone from the current Republican Party to run for president, it would be between him and Ron DeSantis. Preferably Ron DeSantis, but, you know, who's going to mess with a country whose president literally wears an eye patch?
Yeah.
Because he got blew up.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of the stuff from the rundown. So Jennifer Lawrence, we all know who she is. She gained fame playing Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games. She played Mystique in X-Men, the newer X-Men movies. But she's an actor.
Actress.
Actress, whatever.
I assumed her gender.
Anyway, she has decided to make a foray into politics with a video that she posted a few days ago concerning H.R. 1, which we all know is an attempt to federalize voting for the presidency, which is a bad thing. The states should continue to run presidential elections. That's just how it is. They should. Any attempt from the government to step in and provide an overreach into a state matter, such as an election, is a sign that your democracy is going the wrong way. But we'll let you hear what she had to say.
Whatever your personal politics are, whatever side of the aisle you find yourself on, you need to know that your vote matters and the outcome of our elections are not maneuvered and manipulated. In Texas, Georgia, and Florida, and 44 other states, there's a radical wing of the Republican Party that is actively dismantling Americans' rights to vote because they don't have the numbers to win otherwise. Without gerrymandering or shutting down hundreds of voting facilities within reach of minorities, and specifically targeting and carving out people of color, they can't win. But this is cheating, and it is not democracy. There's a law in the Senate right now called the For the People Act, and it can reverse these anti-voting laws, and it can stop billionaires from being able to buy our elections. It even says that all voting machines need to be made here in the US, but it's going to take a lot of pressure from us to get it to pass.
Okay, so first off, the For the People Act is not for the people. That is a blatant lie.
No,
it's
anything that if you want to centralize anything to the feds, like if you want to give more power to the feds, you are not for the people.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but the government tends to screw up everything they touch.
Yes.
So the meat of this, though, is the fact that she has gone into the different states having voting laws that are voter suppression laws. Except for that's not true at all. The Georgia law in particular, which is the main one that got a lot of scrutiny, actually expands voting access. It makes it easier to vote, but you have to have certain things, which you should have to have anyway.
And is this the one that they're calling whatever
modern
2.0?
day Jim Crow?
Yeah, Jim Crow 2.0. Yeah. So we got Matt Skelly. They say, "Sup, guys?" Sup, Matt?
What's going on, Matt?
And then she's a warrior.
That is Brittany.
That's Brittany?
That's
Brittany.
So she's been trying to watch the past 3 weeks where we've had excruciating technical difficulties.
Everything so far this week, as long as the GoPro, which the GoPro should not go dead on us. We're gonna film for like an hour, which I don't know. What are we at right now, Cody?
There's no telling.
25 minutes.
25 minutes.
We'll probably go over that, but whatever.
Yeah, but if we lose video, we should still be able to hear us, which I think the GoPro will hang in there, but just letting you know.
So, the things that Jennifer Lawrence is talking about as far as gerrymandering and all that stuff. Okay, well, for one, gerrymandering is illegal. The new census is going to redistrict a lot of these places. Minorities are not being suppressed. There was record voter turnout in the black community last year.
Yep.
Record voter turnout. But yes, their votes are being suppressed. Sure. So,
well, I think that what they're trying to say, why they think their votes are being suppressed, because they're financially whatever less able to vote because they can't get an ID because it costs money, and then they have to drive to wherever they're going, which that costs money. I just don't see it being that hard.
Okay, so the whole thing is the requirement of voter ID.
Right.
So for an absentee ballot, you have to provide your state-issued ID number.
Right. And can't you just get an ID without, like, I'm not talking about driver's license, I'm talking about just an ID.
Well,
like,
a state-issued ID.
Isn't that free of charge?
The goal is for it to be free.
Right.
Like, that's actually one of the points that, what's his face? I was just talking about him. That
Dan
was on
Crenshaw?
Rogan. Yeah, that's one of the points that Dan Crenshaw made.
I think
on
a
the Joe
basic
Rogan
ID
show
should
was
be
that
free.
we should be taking steps to ensure that this is a free thing. Like, if you were acquiring an ID for the sole purpose of voting, it should be free because it is your right as an American to vote.
That's just a basic ID, like just saying, like, hey, this is who I am. This is where I, this
but
is
it
my
needs to be a state-funded ID, and that's what a lot of these states that are implementing these voter laws are doing, and it's to prevent basically what happened in the 2020 election, where people were just having absentee ballots or mail-in ballots sent to their house without requesting them. So okay,
we got a lot of people. We got people commenting now.
Yeah, we do. We're gonna have to field these questions.
Well, you keep talking, and I'll read the questions.
So it actually ballot drop boxes are a bad thing anyway.
Yeah, I think you should have to vote in person, unless you're like
I agree
sick.
too.
Unless you have like a note from a doctor, or unless
if you know you're going to be out of town when the election occurs, or if you're sick, or if you
have like a physical disability and you're not
unable to go vote, then yes, you should get an absentee ballot and vote.
Right.
But restricting the timeline to which you can request an absentee ballot, that's not suppressing the right to vote. It's putting a strict timeline on it. Requiring voter ID is not suppressing the vote, because honestly, you have to have an ID to do a lot of things, including driving a vehicle.
Yep.
Restricting the number of ballot drop boxes, that actually decreases the possibility of fraud and ballot harvesting. So none of these things are actually vote suppression, in my opinion. I think a lot of it is Democrat scare tactics, trying to say, hey, this is what they're doing, and it's going to impact the black community or the Hispanic community negatively. The problem is that none of the actions outlined in most of these, I haven't looked at all of them. The only one I've really looked at is Georgia, and I've actually got it pulled up. Early voting is actually expanded in a lot of small counties. eliminates the idea of giving gifts to encourage votes. Like, here, I'll give you this snack if you vote for Biden-Harris. I know you've been in line for like an hour here. Which, this was already illegal, but now it actually carries a misdemeanor charge.
It's so weird to think that people would actually do that, though, considering, I mean, to me, it's just weird because I've never seen somebody actually do that. But, I mean, I guess there has to be somebody out there doing it if, you know, they've got to make a law for it.
I just, you know, my thing is that I don't see how it's voter suppression. And, Stephen, I know that a driver's license doesn't equate to being a voter. The problem is that in order to register as a voter, you have to have a state ID.
Yeah, we're not saying you have to have a driver's license. Just like you can get just an I don't know how it is there. I mean, well, I think in every state you can get just an ID, just so that way you can say, like, if you're walking down the street and a cop says, "Hey, who are you?" You
It
can say,
doesn't
"Hey, this is who
necessarily
I
have
am."
to be a driver's license.
Yeah, like you can get an ID for your children. Like you can get just a basic ID, and like
Yeah,
it just says, like,
a lot
"Hey,
of
this is my
military
name."
personnel, they get their kids military IDs.
Right. Like all it says is like, "Hey, this is my name. This is where I live." You know, blah blah blah.
Permits to carry pistols are the same thing.
Yeah.
That equates the same way.
Yeah.
Which, that has a whole other thing to it.
And those should be free. Like those, the ID, like, well, the pistol should.
You shouldn't have to have a permit to carry a pistol.
Right.
Period.
But
that's that's an infringement on the Second
Fair.
Amendment.
I was just saying that that's an ID that.
Well,
is
yeah,
acceptable.
no. So all of these things, I don't see how it suppresses the vote when you've already got record turnout of the minority community, and you're basically saying that you believe that black people are too stupid to get an ID. That's what this equates to. Like, that's the whole Democrat argument is black people are too stupid to get an ID. And they're not.
I think that's kind of what Matt was getting at. Like, yeah, the idea that voter ID is racist is basically racist in itself.
Yeah.
Because
you're implying that black people or minorities are too stupid or incompetent to get an ID.
Right.
And it's just not the case. Now, you can make the case where, some low-income areas may lose their DMV or whatever, and that's something that should absolutely be addressed. But it's not voter suppression to require an ID number to vote. And it's definitely not voter suppression. Dang it, I lost my train of thought because I was reading that. I'm leaving the comments to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, Steven, so what we're saying is, but I think I have actually heard people say that there is, part of it is the cost. But at least here in Alabama, as far as I know of, you can get a basic ID for no cost. Like, I'm saying just an ID.
I'm not sure about Alabama. That's something that you'll have to look up.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But I'm pretty sure you can get just a basic ID for free.
And honestly, an ID to use to vote with should be free.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's where the solutions to the problem, you should be able to request this ID online. Who doesn't have access to a smartphone or the internet or whatever, or can't get access to a smartphone or the internet? You should, and that's the point that Dan Crenshaw made. Offering solutions is better than just stating, hey, this is a problem. It could very well be a problem. But I don't know anybody that's too stupid to go get an ID. It's just...
Stephen makes a good moral argument. Maybe not too stupid, but can't afford. If they're not.
And that's what Joe just said. But again, that's where the solutions come in. You have to offer solutions that make sense, that consider the trade-offs. The only real solution to this is to offer free ID for the purpose of voting. And that absolutely should be a state-funded program. Because that eliminates all of this.
Okay, so no, I was actually completely wrong. And this is
probably like $25.
No. So this is a problem. I will agree. This is a problem. So for a new card or to renew just a basic ID, this is not your driver's license.
Yeah.
Just an ID. $36.25.
It's about the same as a driver's license.
That's some bullcrap, though.
That is. I agree.
That is some straight up
But
garbage.
like I said, this is solutions. Considering trade-offs. Offering a solution is better than just screaming about a problem. Period. You can't just scream about a problem and not offer any solutions.
Right.
And federalizing voting law is not a solution
No.
that most of us are willing to
Because
accept.
federalizing the voting stuff, you still have to, if you have to still get an ID, if the federal law.
No, the whole point of the federalization of the voting is to eliminate the need for voter ID because they want illegal immigrants to win. So J-Law made a point of saying this is cheating because they can't get the votes otherwise. Well, what are they doing by eliminating the need for voter ID? You're basically allowing anybody, any Tom, Dick, or Harry to come and vote with no check on who they actually are, whether they're a citizen. Just free reign. Go at it. Go vote. Yeah, that's a great way to preserve the integrity of an election.
Yeah, because you're gonna have people come in here. If people are not checked before they vote, you're gonna have people coming in here and changing the country. They don't even. They're gonna come in here. You're gonna have foreign exchange students coming in here voting. Like, hey, I'm from France. I want to go change America. And I don't want to be like France.
I don't see. Well, France is actually becoming more American-like.
France still sucks.
Well, yeah, France still sucks, but I got a French rifle for sale, never fired, just dropped once.
But Stephen, I will agree. Like if we it's, I don't. But it's not necessarily a suppression of minorities. It's a suppression of people that can't afford it, which typically may be minorities in the most part. But I mean, I feel like we can't necessarily like pinpoint that down to a minority problem. Like it's a class problem, not a race problem.
But the argument there is going to be that generational wealth.
Even though I would like to see my generational wealth that my
I would
family has
too. I'd
accrued.
love to see the benefits of.
But then people are going to say, "Oh, well, you're living on stolen land." Blah. Like it'll go like no joke. People have so big of a problem letting go of the past. Like people will go all the way back to like, well, Christopher Columbus. Shut up. Just shut up. We could go all the way back to the Egyptians. Okay, well, the Egyptians stole land from these people over here. And if you want to talk about the Indians stole land from each other. I mean, come on, people. Like, eventually we're just going to have to get over the whole stolen land thing because there's probably not a single human being. Notice I didn't add race there. A single human being not living on a piece of land that wasn't probably stolen from somebody at some point in the existence of humans.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the nature of humans.
Exactly.
To explore and settle new places. That's why there's a push to go to Mars. That's why there's a push to discover interstellar travel.
And then guess what? Once we get a place on Mars, there's probably going to still be people stealing junk from other people.
So, I mean, it's...
I'm with you, Matt. I want some of that generational wealth, too. When you get some, let me know how you got it.
Yeah, for real. I mean... Regardless, let's move on from this. I mean, the solution is simple. Make voter ID free. Make it requestable online. Yes. Provide your social security number. Everybody has one. You get assigned one at birth. Okay? Provide your social security number, your address.
You print it out.
They either send it to you in the mail or you print it out.
Or you can put it on your phone. I mean, literally,
just a PDF on your phone that says, hey, this is who I am.
Like, it surely cannot cost our government that much money for a basic little ID program.
For the cost of gender studies in freaking Pakistan or wherever it was that they sent some relief money, you could probably fund voter ID. Okay? For the cost of a lot of things that we shouldn't be paying for that we could probably fund a lot of things that would benefit society in a great way that we're not because we're too concerned with helping other countries that don't deserve the help.
We're too concerned with feelings.
Well,
not logic.
A lot of it is that.
We're too concerned with feelings, not logic anymore.
Yeah,
and reasoning.
I don't disagree. So let's move on. Okay, let's move on to Kamala Harris's interview with Lester Holt because Lester Holt.
Oh, is it? I think I heard about this. This is the one where he pretty much was like, "Why haven't you been to the border?" And she's just like, "Well,
so you'll hear." because
Yes.
I have the clip, and we're going to play that for you now.
Why should they believe you when they know that people are getting in?
Well, Lester, here's the thing. I've been working on this issue for a very long time.
This is a long one.
And the kind of violence and danger that is associated with that trek, especially when we're talking about from Guatemala through Mexico to the United States, it is extremely dangerous. And the reason that I am in Guatemala is to address the reasons people leave home, flee. Knowing that people who are here for generations, or if we know the history of Guatemala for centuries, they want to stay. They don't want to leave. But they need opportunity. They need assistance. They need support.
But Americans don't
and we
see
have the ability to give them that.
Yeah, Americans don't see a lot of that on a daily basis. What they do see at their own border, children being lowered over fences, children coming in with, phone numbers stenciled on their hand.
Yeah.
And so the question has come up, and you heard it here, and you'll hear it again, I'm sure. It's why not visit the border? Why not see what Americans are seeing in this crisis?
Well, we are going to the border. We have to deal with what's happening at the border. There's no question about that. That's not a debatable point. But we have to understand that there's a reason people are arriving at our border and ask what is that reason, and then identify the problem so we can fix it.
Okay, first off.
Oh, you cut it off before she got to the kicker.
Well, no, it went into something else. It was a segment that they had cropped.
Yeah, but then she goes on at some point and say, the reason they're coming to America is because of global warming.
I didn't see that, so I can't comment or speculate on that one. But
on one interview, she's like, it's because of global warming.
The thing is that they're coming here because you and Joe Biden basically said it's open season, come to the border. And now you're backtracking because you're getting a lot of backlash from the American people saying, no, this is not okay. And honestly, what's going on? Something's happening here that I'm not privy to.
I got sent a picture.
Oh, God. Anyway, I don't want to know now.
Yeah.
Don't you send that to me.
I mean,
I don't want to know.
But ain't it though?
Maybe about 1st of August.
All right.
Fair enough.
Anyway, okay, so the whole reason they're coming here is because you basically said it's open season, come to the border. We're not going to turn you away. And now you're backtracking again because the backlash from the American people is that this is a problem. You're not going to the border. You're not doing anything to fix it. You were asked point blank, why haven't you been to the border? We're going to the border. We've been to the border. You have not been to the border. This is your responsibility. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go to the border because you don't want to be photographed in front of these children crammed together in all of these detention facilities because you and Joe Biden have allowed this to continue. The root cause is all fine and dandy. You need to address the problem in our home right now, not the problem in Guatemala. Okay? Go to the border. Everybody will shut up if you just go to the border.
The reason she won't go to the border is because they're going to take a picture of her in front of all them cages with all them kids. That's
what I just said.
Yeah, that's the reason she won't go.
It's really simple. It's really that simple. Go to the border. Just go.
Because they still know there's kids in cages. That
didn't even start.
That did not even start with Trump. I don't know why people thought that started with Trump.
Under Barack Obama.
Yep, sure did.
So, it's only a problem when a Republican is in office. Or when the American people are screaming about it so loud that you finally have to do something.
Yep.
So, I don't understand why you would say we're going to the border, we've been to the border. You are in charge of this. You are supposed to go to the border. You have not been to the border. Instead, you flew to Guatemala. By the way, in Guatemala, they said, mind your business, get out of our country, and Trump won. So Guatemala clearly don't like Kamala Harris neither. And quite frankly, I'm tired of Kamala Harris.
So, Matt, if you're talking about the whole border solution, to be honest with you, probably legalization of drugs actually would probably solve a lot of border issues, because a lot of the drugs actually drive a lot of that traffic at the border.
Correct. They do.
So if we actually legalize drugs in the United States, which a lot of people, when you say legalize drugs, they're like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. The country will fall. But
Okay, listen, they're doing drugs whether they're legal or not.
Right. Well, and actually, other countries have found by decriminalizing drug use, there's actually less drug use. And because there's a lot of people out there that do it just because it's illegal, and it's fun to do junk that's illegal.
Correct.
It's the same thing as drinking underage. I mean...
it's illegal, but kids do it every day.
If you legalize drinking down to like age 15, I'd be willing to bet you there's less kids drinking at that age, just because they're like, well, crap, that's legal. I mean, it's not like it's fun to do because it's not illegal.
So, Stephen, the solution, because you asked, the solution is in strictly enforcing our border policies while making the path to American citizenship easier. As libertarians, a lot of people get turned off by the idea of open borders. Well, open borders doesn't mean wide open borders. It means reducing the cost, because it's expensive to become an American citizen. It's expensive to come to America.
Which is crap. Stupid. Which shouldn't be expensive.
Is bullshit.
Yeah.
The solution is to ease the burden of becoming an American citizen.
Right.
Make it easier for these people to come here the right way.
Right.
But also turn them away when they come here the wrong way.
Right. I believe I have a story of
a lot of these
guy
people
that I worked with that...
Yeah, you told that story.
It's on one of our other episodes, so go check that out. It's pretty bad.
I think it's in like the second or third episode.
I don't know, but he worked really hard for a long time getting his wife here, and then ends up, when he finally gets his wife here, he ends up having a stroke and can't work anymore. It's pretty disheartening. He was a really good dude.
So, ease the path to citizenship, enforce the laws that are currently on the books. If you come here illegally, get sent back. And this is another point that Dan Crenshaw made. A lot of these people that are coming here seeking asylum, they have notes of what to say. Like, this is what you say so that you don't get turned away. And then there are those that come that truly are fleeing persecution.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the it's a movie, it's a docu-movie, I guess you would say. It's a documentary, but it's called Cartel Land. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It straight up tells some of the horrors that go on down in Mexico, and how a lot of those people are pretty fed up with it.
So Stephen also said something about cages is different than separating families.
Here's another thing, though. They've always done that.
They've always separated families. It is a federal ruling that forces them to separate families at the border.
Because you can't
hold children in the same kind of detention facilities as you hold parents.
And two, you have to find out if they're trafficking these children
that are coming here are not accompanied by their parents.
Yeah, some of it may be child trafficking.
A lot of it is child trafficking from everything that I've seen. Again, a lot of the problem is the cost, as Stephen pointed out. But the solution to that problem is not catch and release. The solution to that problem is send them back, because they're not coming here seeking asylum. They're coming here for opportunities. So you have to send them back and then make them come the right way. Making them come the right way should be way easier and way cheaper.
Yes.
Again, solutions.
Well, and some guy, there was a guy at he did a seminar on it or something, and he showed that, but I guess because it costs so much to come here legally, that we only get other countries' best.
Yes.
That's all we get. And some people may be like, well, that's good. That's all we want. We don't want the lower end people.
Well, no, because the whole purpose of the great melting pot that is America is
diversity.
Yeah. You don't want just the best coming here, but you don't want the worst coming here either.
Well, see, and two, though, the fact that we consider you because you can come here financially that you're the best. Like, there are some poor people that are really smart that can really change the world.
So again, in the comments, it's getting real up in here. Matt makes another good point. If you're caught driving drunk with your kids in the car, guess what they're going to do?
Separate you.
They're going to separate you from your kids.
Yeah, matter of fact, I have a buddy who...
And you're an American citizen. So the laws are not different for us as opposed to them.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is going to get separated from their kids if they're committing a crime with their children present.
Right.
And crossing the border illegally is a crime.
And if you need proof of that, one of my buddies actually, when he was very young, his stepdad, I think it was, he was with his stepdad. His stepdad was drunk and driving, and he was in the car, and they arrested. Yeah, they you know,
they have to.
It's not like they went and let him go into the jail with his dad. No, they took him and I guess gave him, found his mom and gave him to her, and took the dad to jail.
The point is that pretending that this is only something that applies to illegal immigrants frankly, it's a farce. Like, it's not based in reality in any way. So, again, if you're going to say separating families is a problem, the solution to that problem is make it easier for the families to come here. Instead of making it so that they come here illegally, claim asylum wrongfully, and then get deported anyway. The other problem is that when these people come here claiming asylum, they are practicing catch and release. So they're saying, okay, well, come back for your court date. Trump actually had a pretty good solution to this. He sent them to a holding facility back in Mexico, or wherever they came from, and said, we'll adjudicate your case, but you have to be there until we're ready to say, yes, you're actually fleeing persecution or not. So, again, it's about finding the proper solution and not just screaming about the problem. And I would like to think that we're trying to find a solution. What did Stephen say?
But see, Stephen, one thing is like the Biden administration can say that. But here's another thing. Like back under the Obama administration, Obama come out and talked about, oh, we are no longer torturing people or torturing people to get information out of them in regards to the war on terrorism and stuff like that. But yet, if you go watch the movie Zero Dark 30, like literally just tortured a dude. And it's, kind of based on, I don't know if it's necessarily based on a true story, but shoot, man, I freaking believe
Well,
that
Zero
movie.
Dark 30 was based on true events.
Yeah. Like, for all we know, I'm pretty sure we are still torturing people to get information out of them.
I don't know. I mean, so you can say what you will, but I believe that it should be a zero tolerance policy.
I'm in agreement,
if you're coming here and you're clearly being coached on what to say because you have notes that say this, and they'll let you in, you turn those people away. Those people are not seeking asylum. They're just saying whatever they want to say, and they're showing up a lot of times in Biden-Harris shirts.
I haven't seen that.
That's one of the points Dan Crenshaw made. Like, a lot of these people are showing up wearing a Biden-Harris shirt. Well, why do you think they came here? They came here because Biden and Harris basically said it's open season. Come on.
Yeah.
And now they're backtracking and saying, no, don't come. Whatever. The point is that it has to be an easier path to immigrate to the United States.
Yeah, that's how you get rid of it.
That's the only way to get rid of it. But
and we need to have tougher laws in regards to like coyotes. And I don't mean the dog. No. For that, whatever representative, whoever she was, it's not the coyote. Coyote. It's pronounced like coyote. I don't know. It's like it's
coyote or something like that.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's people who are paid to transport people across the border illegally.
Right. We need to have stricter law. Like, honestly, I mean, if it was up to me, I think if they see people, transporting people, just shoot them in the head. That's
No.
that's
Whoa.
my thing.
That's no, because that violates the the NAP, buddy.
No, because they're
can't-
they're infringing on our freedoms.
No, they're not. They're not though.
Indirectly.
Attempting to break the law is
and
not
actually
a
no
direct
some
infringement upon your freedom.
But see, a lot of them do actually kidnap kids.
Well, yeah, and okay, but treating them as
shoot them in the head.
Treating them as armed insurrection is not the way to do it. You can't just go willy-nilly shooting people in the head. Yeah, that's going to stop people from coming, but
exactly.
Let's not go that route, okay? That's a step too far.
Put machine guns on the border.
It's a solution.
Don't shoot the kids though. Like have like a sensor where it picks up like, hey, that's a kid. Don't shoot him.
Yeah, whatever. So you're offering a solution, but it's not the solution that we need or want. So, the last thing from the rundown that I had before we get into the typical end game of the show,
aliens,
is the lab leak theory. This narrative that it originated in nature, COVID, is falling apart. Okay.
Almost like I thought it was going to. Dun, dun,
well,
dun.
The lab leak story was called a conspiracy theory, but now outlets are prompted to correct their articles and all of that stuff. So, it's one of those things where it's kind of odd that these bats that they say the virus originated in, the closest supply of those bats, the horseshoe bat, is like 1,000 miles away from Wuhan. But they study bat coronaviruses in a lab in Wuhan, and they perform gain-of-function research that has been tied back to Dr. Fauci and what is that guy's name?
I'm over here looking up aliens.
No, we're not doing aliens.
Oh, there's something here. I got something.
Oh God,
I got something. Pentagon related.
Sazik or something like that. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he works for a company that receives United States funding.
I know. That's all I know.
Also, gain-of-function research is outlawed in the United States. There's a moratorium on it. So, the gain-of-function research has to occur outside the United States, but it's being paid for inadvertently by the United States, and there's more and more evidence that the United States has funded this gain-of-function research. The problem is that at that Wuhan facility, they are also active participants in an offensive bioweapon program ran by the Communist Party of China. So
doesn't surprise me.
There's even more. It goes deeper. There's a lady who is now dead, Chinese lady, who had filed a patent for a coronavirus vaccine well before the outbreak. So what does that say to you?
No.
That says, to me, this is an attempted bioweapon. And the logical step to preventing all of your people from dying from your own bioweapon is to vaccinate your people, because you can force your people to be vaccinated because you're communists.
Right.
So, I mean, tinfoil hat and all.
I'm wearing the hat.
Yeah, you can wear the hat for this one. It looks more and more likely that COVID originated in a lab due to gain-of-function research. There's been no species jump documented. Like, there's no intermediate that they found yet. That's the key word, yet.
Right.
But I can't take that off. I can't deal with that, man. But like, there's no documented animal that it jumped from the bats to that animal and then to humans. And also, the bats that the coronavirus originated in are 1,000 miles away from Wuhan. Wuhan has been performing gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses And there's actually a specific marker that kind of says, hey, this is from gain-of-function research. Like, it's a specific genetic code that's been spliced into COVID.
Right.
That they found that is it only happens when gain-of-function research is performed.
If it was something that naturally happened and it was a complete accident, something just sprung up, why was China so quiet about it to begin with?
Well, for one, the thing is I do believe that it was an accident. I don't think it was an intentional leak.
No, I'm talking about, like, what I mean by accident is somebody ate a bat and it got them sick, and like the original story.
There's no way that that's what happened.
Yeah, no. I think what happened was, like you said, it was intentionally made to be a bioweapon.
Well, it was,
and it was not meant to leak out and make their own people sick.
They intentionally performed gain of function research on it to see how bad that could get.
Right.
But they also didn't intend on it getting out. You know,
they didn't intend. See, okay. So here's my theory, and this is my theory. Okay, aliens. No. Okay, so what I think. So you know how Trump was always hating on China. I mean, he was always like China did it. It's all China.
Excuse me. I'm not saying that it was China, but it was probably China.
Like, he was always pulling that crap, right? So I had to wonder if a little bit, like, China was like, you know what? You want to mess with us? We'll mess. Okay. You know, granted, this was not an intentional leak.
It's a tremendously high probability that it was indeed a lab leak. There's no evidence that says it originated in nature. And frankly, the Chinese Communist Party is probably responsible for it. And when I say that they're probably responsible for it, I say that they're tremendously responsible for it and very bigly responsible for it.
Stephen, you're completely right. COVID actually was a thing already. And the thing is, though, is it was a different strain. Like, the strain that we're dealing with globally right now is a completely different strain than the coronavirus that already existed.
So the difference that you have to point out is that this coronaviruses can infect a multitude of species.
Right.
The difference is that this is a bat coronavirus. It is not a human coronavirus. There are several human coronaviruses.
Right.
But the fact that it originated from a bat, there's nothing to suggest that it jumped from a bat to another species and then to humans. That is the whole point of the lab leak theory. Like, there's no intermediate species found yet. It's not saying that there won't be one found.
Because COVID has broken a lot of rules that we all thought existed that apparently are a little different now.
But the evidence doesn't suggest, the evidence that's starting to slowly come to light doesn't suggest that it originated from a spillover.
Right.
It suggests that it originated from gain-of-function research.
Right.
Yeah, that's just from what I've seen, what I've looked at. That's the conclusion that I've gathered.
And to me, like, just looking at China's behavior during all that, like, I think like if like I said, if somebody would have ate a bat and got sick and stuff, China would have been like, hey, this guy's a freaking idiot. Yeah, he's ours, but he's an idiot. And
well, the thing is that a lot of these cross-species viruses that do come from China originate from the wet markets. That's not what happened here, I don't think.
But
I truly don't believe that that's what happened.
You don't see all China, covering up any of these other natural diseases that are coming out of China. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but they wanted to cover up COVID.
Well, yeah, of course they did.
And there was a lot of stuff. I don't know if you were, on the internet looking around at a lot of things. I'm talking about conspiracy theories. Like, there's like people putting out videos like on TikTok and all these other places saying like what, they would be like in China and they're like, what is the Chinese government doing? It was showing like trucks going down the street, like fumigating the streets.
Yeah.
And this was like way before.
Crematoriums running 24/7. Like there's a lot of stuff that was happening in China that we weren't being made aware of.
Right.
The death toll in China is probably a lot higher than we've even fathomed it could be. The other thing is that, damn it, I had it. It was like right here, and then it vanished. My thoughts just, because you started talking and I was listening to what you were saying, and I was like, let's talk about this. And it was like,
You were
gone.
talking about gain of function research.
Well, I was talking about gain of function research, but there was something else. It'll come to me eventually.
No, see, Matt, that's what we're saying. Is we think that's what backs up the lab leak theory is because they would not intentionally want it to get to their people. We think it leaked out of the lab, not leaked as in somebody snuck it out of the lab. It leaked as in somebody was doing research on it, maybe didn't have all their PPE secured properly, or there was a tear, or whatever.
So that's something that. So another Joe Rogan episode that I watched with Josh Rogan, who is a investigative journalist, he was like blowing the whistle on all this stuff and writing a book about it. Like there were cables from a couple of years ago, prior to COVID, from that Wuhan lab that said, hey, what they're doing here is dangerous. Their safety protocols are easily broken. These people don't know what they're doing. We need to step in. And it got buried in the bureaucracy of the government. Like they never addressed it. And then when COVID started, they were like, hey, remember those cables from forever ago? From that Wuhan lab? Maybe we look into those.
Steven, yeah, you said okay. So if you said it affected China, though, right? Okay, yeah, it did. And but I don't think they would have done a better job. I think they tried their best, but it was to that point where it was just there was a tilting point of where they probably could have, if they would have started sooner. I think it got out of hand a lot quicker.
I mean, they were literally welding people into their homes.
That's what I'm saying. I think they literally it had gotten beyond the point of being able to contain.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was nothing they could do. Absolutely nothing.
I think that a lot of this is one of those things where we just need to wait and see what happens. Like we need to find out exactly where.
I mean, we can throw around our theories, but in the end, the only people that really know what happened were the people that were there and that know.
Yeah, and we're not those people.
And at the end of the day, that's probably going to be the only people that end up knowing.
The simple fact of the matter is that 2 + 2 is not adding up to 4.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. I'm skeptical, and I'm not going to say it was aliens, but it was China.
China. So anyway, you said you had something on aliens.
Okay, so
because I'm done with topics for tonight.
Okay, so this article is from The Guardian, and it is from yesterday. And it says,
you want to pull that up on the? You want to send that over to Cody and let him pull it up so that we can put it on the.
Well, it's not really like anything anybody has to really see.
Okay, whatever.
I'm just going to read it. It just says, I study UFOs and I don't believe the hype. Here's why. Okay, so this month the Pentagon will release its much-awaited UFO report. Extraterrestrial buffs think they'll be vindicated, but they've gotten a bit ahead of themselves.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so let's see.
No, what did you say? I completely zoned out.
Yeah, this is a little weird. It said this month the Pentagon will release. So see, they have not released it yet. You said they did, but
they did release a report.
Nope, this was yesterday. It said this month the Pentagon will release its much-awaited UFO report. They have not released it yet.
I literally looked at an article last week that said
it must have not been the report then.
Must have been
a report, just not the report. And it said extraterrestrial buffs think that they will be vindicated, but they've gotten a bit ahead of themselves.
My theory remains the same. I don't think that these UAPs are specifically aliens inside the craft. I think, if anything, they're probes. Because, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? We're sending probes to Mars and to the deep reaches of outer space. We're doing things that are within our technology to do without having to risk human life to do it. Which, I mean, granted,
I need to pause real quick. I need to go back. So, Stephen, you said if China did it to say screw Trump, then they would have taken credit. I don't think they were ready to say screw Trump yet. I don't think they were quite ready.
I think Joe was more saying, haha, this is funny. Like, this is what they were probably getting ready to do, but not ready yet.
Right, exactly. So, like they were planning on
but
releasing
really,
it at some point.
It wasn't so much aimed at Trump. It was probably aimed at their very well-known goals of expanding their territories.
Right. Which America is probably a large part of that, because I'm pretty sure that we owe them a lot of money.
Well, yeah, they bought a bunch of U.S. bonds.
Yeah. So, but anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't think they were ready to release it yet, and that's why
the thing is, a bioweapon is intended to be a weapon,
right?
Not an accidental spillover,
right?
So,
whether it be during the Trump presidency or some other presidency, because China, while they say they're our allies, I think they play ally.
No, there's no secret that China is not our ally.
Well, on the global stage, they play our ally.
Well, not really.
They are not our enemy on the global stage.
They are definitely our enemy on the global stage. They are the United States' largest competitor. And Russia
but you're talking about like economically though, as far as China goes.
They have military ambitions that do not suit our interests.
But I still don't think they're part of the...
They back North Korea. They are not our ally. That's part of the reason that we haven't just stomped a mud hole in North Korea's
You know what? I'll Google
ass.
it. I'll Google it.
It's because they back North Korea.
Is China...
China is not a U.S. ally.
Is China a U.S. ally? Currently, the United States and China have mutual political, economic, and security interests, such as the proliferation of nuclear weapons, but there are unresolved concerns relating to the role of democracy in government in China and human rights in China. So
no, they're not an ally, but no, they're not blatantly an enemy.
Right. They're associates.
Well, I mean, we're all associates. We all live on the same planet. Anyway...
We're in limbo with them. Okay, back to aliens. Okay.
Oh, God.
So... Let's see. I think they're just trying to downplay it a little bit. Like the Tic Tac video, they're trying to say, the Tic Tac is the one that went really fast, and they say it was impossible for people to be in it.
Well, yeah. So Commander Fravor said that anything moving the way that was moving would have been mush inside the craft. So the problem is that if it's not extraterrestrial in origin, that means somebody on this planet is so far advanced of the United States that it's a serious problem. So, again, I'm not saying aliens, but it's probably aliens. Even if it's just a probe. Like a remote-controlled drone.
Okay, so the Green Pyramid? They're sitting here saying that the Green Pyramid looked like the best UFO footage of all time for 2 days. Then I pointed out it looked exactly like an out-of-focus airliner shot in night vision with a triangular aperture.
Not really.
No.
Especially since the Tic Tac incident in particular happened in broad daylight, and there are multiple jets and radar signatures of that object. It met them at the rendezvous point and mimicked Commander Fravor's motions as he was circling down to intercept this craft or to observe it. Like, it displayed that it knew they were there. I'm sorry, but a commercial aircraft is not going to be able to perform the maneuvers that this Tic Tac was performing.
Well, and two, in this triangular thing, I saw a big picture of it. This sucker was freaking huge.
Oh, yeah, the triangular things were weird, to say the least.
Well, no, there was one that
but
the pyramid. No, I'm talking about the pyramid one.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
That sucker was freaking huge.
Yeah, it was huge, but also, like, they weren't moving fast like the Tic Tacs or the Go Fast video. Like
the pyramid thing, what I saw wasn't moving at all. It was above a city, I thought.
There's another one where it's like three or four of those pyramid shaped UAPs that are moving in a formation.
Oh yeah, and they surrounded a U.S. Navy ship.
Yes, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. It's in the fridge, Steven. I tend to not drink a whole lot of that.
I tell you what, it was good on them steaks we made.
What, you used the beer on the stick?
Cody made some steaks this week, and it actually marinated them steaks really well. So if anything, you got a future in the steak marinating business.
Oh, whatever.
Who's an extra?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
So anyway, are we done with aliens now?
Yeah.
Can we put the tinfoil hats
and
away?
I guess the triangular thing, maybe I was thinking something different for them. But anyways, they're saying that, they don't think it's aliens. Look, man, I'll tell you something. I think it's aliens.
So let's venture into the financial arena.
So tell us about this short squeeze that's not going to happen.
Oh, no, the short squeeze is still definitely on.
It's not going to happen.
So GameStop actually possesses all of the fundamental markers of an impending short squeeze. Okay? It really does. Like, yes, it tanked, but that was also expected. Like, all of us that follow it closely saw that coming. It typically gets short ladder attacked. And if you notice, the amount that they're able to drop it has decreased each time. So, like, the last time that earnings came out, they dropped it. Shareholders meeting happened. Ryan Cohen's last words at the shareholder meeting were, "Buckle up." What do you think "buckle up" means? I think it means
about to get wrecked.
It's going to be a bumpy ride, but hang in there, right?
Or Junk's about to get wrecked.
Well, also, GameStop is offering an at-the-market. They have an at-the-market offering of 5 million additional shares, which can't be bought artificially. You actually get a certificate that you bought these stocks. So, the price has dropped, yes. That doesn't mean anything. When you examine the amount of volume that it takes to drop the stock by a couple of dollars and the amount of volume that it takes to raise that same price back up above where they dropped it to, you can't even compare the two. It's like half of the volume that it took to drop it.
So what's the subreddit? Is it Super Stonks or
It's Super Stonk.
Super
yes.
Stonk.
r/Super Stonk. Okay? If you want to look into it, go there. Read all about it. It is going... it's going to be a fun ride, but honestly, they're just kicking the can down the road. They can't continue this. Each time they've dropped the price by a significant amount, it's been less and less. You know, the initial gamma squeeze that happened, it went all the way up to $430 and they dropped it back to $40, right? Well, then it rose back up into the 200 range.
That's when I wish I would have been in there, when it was in the 40 range.
Well, yeah. So
and it would have hit like $400. Oh,
you know, whatever.
I would have sold.
Like, it went back up. It hit 350. They dropped it back down to 150-ish. It since went back up to almost 350, and now they've only managed to drop it to 230. Like, they're literally running out of ways to do this. Also, there was a lot of FUD that was spread after earnings came out, saying that GameStop was being investigated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. They aren't. The trading of GameStop stocks is being investigated for illegal market manipulations by parties that are not GameStop.
Steven, I fairly agree with you on this. And
Steven,
you know what else?
I'm telling you, GameStop is the only play.
Don't do it, Steven. You know,
Anyway.
really, be completely honest with you, good investments. I'm not talking about from a stonks level. I'm talking like legitimate, good investment right now, if you can afford it. Property is probably the biggest investment because it's about to be inflated like a mug.
Well, yeah, everything is being inflated
Yes.
like a mug right now.
And like I almost invested in lumber. Like you can invest in lumber. Like there's a stock for lumber.
Mm-hmm.
That junk was looking crazy last time I looked at it.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
But good investment property. gold and silver, because if there's a collapse coming because of inflated prices and the stock market does take a serious plunge,
Gold and silver don't lose their value.
gold and silver, well, a lot of times gold and silver will go up.
Correct.
So gold and silver, and usually I'm not one of these gold and silver guys, because if there's a societal, I'm not talking about societal collapse. If you want to, have money during a societal collapse, invest in boots, clothes, gloves, wood, food.
Listen, if there's a societal collapse, none of these things are going to be relevant.
No, but you can actually be rich in a societal collapse. Toilet paper, freaking toilet paper. If last year taught us anything, toilet paper. You can be a king if you have enough toilet paper.
Yeah, and a lot of people are stuck with a year's worth of toilet paper right now because they bought all of it and tried to sell it.
No, toilet paper is never a bad investment because you always got to take a dump.
Well, yeah, but the point is, it's like there's people out there that don't even have places to store the amount of toilet paper that they have. Anyway, Steven, selling your AMC and Nokia, good calls. They're not the play. GameStop is and will always be the only play for the impending short squeeze. The fundamentals are there. People keep trying to equate DFV's tweets and stuff to AMC, and each time they do this, they get destroyed in the comments of these tweets because DFV literally came out and said, I don't know anything about GameStop. Or not GameStop, but AMC. He knows all there is to know about GameStop, but like the AMC stuff, I don't know anything about it. It could be a good play, it could not be. I don't know. That's not my thing. GameStop is my play. GameStop has the fundamentals. When you look at all of the volume that's been happening, there's been significant price rises with low volume, right? So since earnings came out, it's been more volume than normal. The problem is that the volume, they drop it, and then it goes right back up. And then they drop it, and it goes right back up. And then they drop it, and it goes right back up. And the volume comparisons suggest that these are short ladder attacks where the stock is being traded back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between two hedge funds in order to artificially decrease the price. So, like, right now, the $237 value that GameStop is valued at in aftermarket is not accurate at all. They had a great earnings report. They've made really good progress in doing a lot of things that will make sure that the company does not go bankrupt. Mark Cuban came out early on in this and said their intention is never to cover their shorts. They want GameStop to go bankrupt or be delisted. That's the only way they win at this point, is if GameStop goes bankrupt, which isn't happening, or if they delist, which isn't happening. They continue to double down on this, and it's going to bite them. I'm telling you, I wish...
I'm looking at it right now.
I wish that Nate was here so that he could explain it, because he could explain it way better than I can. Whatever Nate says to do is pretty much what I'm doing at this point, because Nate literally goes home and he reads about what's happening with the stock market as far as GameStop is concerned. And like I said, man, I mean, if you don't want to invest in GameStop, that's fine. I'm not a financial advisor. None of what I say is financial advice. I bought more. That's all I'm saying. I bought more GameStop. I'm going to win or I'm going to lose. I don't care at this point, but if we win, then I'm part of an international movement to collapse some hedge funds, and I'm pretty proud of that.
And not only were you going to collapse some hedge funds, y'all probably going to collapse the entire dang economy along with it.
Negative.
Because it will, no, like seriously, for real, I've discussed this with some people. Like, if y'all prove that y'all can control the economy like that.
No. No. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is proving that the hedge funds are illegally manipulating the market.
Yeah, but that's what you're trying to do. But I'm saying...
No, that's what we're doing.
So, but also what you're doing, the indirect effect of what you're doing is also showing that you can control the market through Reddit and through everybody coming together like that.
Okay, the thing is that's not how it works, though. The only way to do what Reddit is doing at the moment is with an excessive amount of short positions on a stock that is severely undervalued, that the hedge funds are literally trying to bankrupt. You can't just do this with any stock. you have to know what you're actually getting into when you go into this stuff. Like, they had GameStop shorted at 140%. 140% of the GameStop free float was shorted. Something doesn't add up there, right? How can you short 140% of a finite amount of stocks? You can't. And they continue to double down and triple down and quadruple down, whatever down they're on now. They continue to do this in the hopes that we will blink first. So they're just as guilty, if not more guilty, than Reddit is of manipulating the market and trying to control the market. The difference is that now it's the poors that are trying to manipulate the market, and they're upset about that.
Yeah, I can see that.
The problem with that theory is that we're not trying to manipulate the market. We see all of the good things that Ryan Cohen has done at GameStop. That board is filled with Amazon executives now. Like, bro, come on. You're still shorting this company in the hopes it's going to go bankrupt when they paid off all of their long-term debt. They literally have no long-term debt now. They're creating non-fungible tokens. They just expanded and got a new fulfillment center in New York. They're rebranding. They're moving to e-commerce. They're doing things that no other competitor in their sphere is doing. But yeah, they're going bankrupt, going back to zero fast. Come on, dude. Like, you can't sit there and honestly tell me that you think that Reddit is contributing to the collapse of the economy when really it's the hedge funds that are doing it. Because honestly, all of these people, and I wasn't even a part of it then, but all of these people would have sold for $1,000 a share in January. But there was a blatantly manipulative stop of the sale of GameStop shares through all the major brokerages only for retail investors. Hedge funds were still able to trade GameStop. So why can they trade it but we can't? Oh, that's right, because we're the poors. Right? So
the point I'm trying to make is I feel like it will repave the playing field for the market.
Oh, you mean level the playing field for the market?
I'm not going to necessarily say that because I don't think it'll ever be level. But
okay, listen. For years and years and years, all these boomers have told you, be smart with your money, invest in the stock market. But now, because retail investors are actually winning, and no, not like that. The game from Wall Street has always been take the poor people's money. They will heavily short a company that's doing well just so that they can make a few bucks.
Well, I don't doubt that.
And the best part is that all of the money that they're shorting GameStop with isn't even their money.
Probably
that is their customers' money.
Yeah.
And their customers are footing the bill for something that's not going to work and is costing them billions upon billions of dollars.
But I'm sure
even the mainstream media has come out, like CNBC released an article that said one of these hedge funds had covered their short positions in January, but when their earnings came out last month, they had lost another $4.3 billion on their short positions in GameStop and AMC. So which is it? Did they cover their shorts or did they lose a bunch of money on their shorts in the last month?
Holy smokes, look who we have in the comments. We have Matt, I don't know how to exactly pronounce your last name, Matt. Matt Propst? I'm not.
I don't know, and I'm not going to attempt it.
I don't know. Please forgive me, Matt. Welcome to the show, Matt. You kind of come in at the last bit unless you've been on here for a minute.
Welcome, comrade.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool to see you in here.
So who is Matt?
You are a libertarian in Alabama, and you don't know Matt?
For one, I've been banned from the libertarian group, remember? Because I got into an argument with Miss Chair, Miss Purple Hair.
So Matt is now... Matt, I can't remember. Is it vice chair?
Oh, you're a libertarian in Alabama, and you don't know who Matt is?
Matt is part of the, head people.
Okay.
Hold on. I have to look it up real quick. I'm not...
Or Matt, you could just tell us what you are since Joe can't remember.
Well, you got to remember there's a delay.
Yeah, that's why I'm just looking it up. No, I'm thinking Tom Hopf.
Yeah. You're thinking of somebody completely different. I don't know who
Never
Matt
mind.
is.
I know Matt. He's from the Libertarian Party of Alabama, I believe.
Well, either way, my whole point is that the purpose of the stock market is for the free market, right? Except for it's not free. It's only for them, not for us.
So Matt is, yeah, he's part of the Libertarian Party of Alabama. I remember now. I know a lot of Matts.
Well, yeah, we all do, because Matt's a really common name. I mean, there's Matt Skelly, and then...
Yeah, no, me and Matt actually got into an argument with
just
somebody
someone who
else.
is vocal.
Yeah, me and him got... Because Matt, I think, thinks more like us. We're more like the conservative people that... Oh, I'm not going to necessarily say...
Well, we're conservative leaning libertarians.
Yeah, but he's irritated. He voiced his irritation the other day on the Libertarian page.
Wait, and he's not banned?
Well, he was a little more... He was more tactful about it than you.
Oh, listen, man, I just don't put up with bullshit from people who think they're libertarians and they're not.
Yeah, he was more tactful about it than you. But
well, for one, I don't think that anything that I said was rude until she started coming at me. So
he handled it pretty good. But he's upset because basically I think he kind of feels like I do. Oops, I closed our live out here. Okay. So one of the things matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up.
You know what really grinds my gears?
When you have no idea where you're going with the subject.
No, it's the thing.
That's exactly what I was going for, but I hit the wrong one.
Okay, so I'll read Matt's post. It said, I've come to realize two things about the Libertarian Party. The first is that Libertarians are ultimately a waste of time, and two, there are some serious liberal cowards in our group that are ultimately poisoning us. Now let me explain. The first reason that libertarianism will never actually work
like Matt already.
Is because libertarians are unwilling to play the game. Exactly what I was talking about earlier.
That's exactly what you were talking about earlier.
Politics is a nasty game of allies and enemies, all in the quest to gain or maintain power. Backroom sleazy deals and promises, selling out ideals in exchange for votes. Pork barrel graft. These are the things that come with the game. The problem is that these games go against the foundational principles of our party, and unless a candidate is willing to violate those values, they will never get anywhere in politics. The second reason that libertarianism won't work is because while we all value freedom, freedom will never last. History is chock full of examples of warlords and tyrants trampling all over people's freedom, usually in the name of unity or security. Heck, it's even happening in our country right now. The truth is that one could create a libertarian utopia, and it would be overtaken in a short period of time. As to my second point, before I finish that point, Matt, that's why, who was it, Benjamin Franklin? Who was it that said that from time to time the tree of liberty, the roots of the tree of liberty have to be watered by the blood of patriots and tyrants?
I don't know who said that, but that's one of those guys.
That's kind of why I think he said that, though, there, Matt.
So,
if only we had a young Jamie to look that up.
Yeah, young Jamie.
Working on it.
But, okay. Let's see. To my second point about the party, we have been infiltrated by... Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad he brought this up, and this is going to make you probably cry with happiness. As to my second point about the party, we have been infiltrated by cowards who are afraid to hear any opinion that isn't in line with their own. Posting and turning off comments is exactly what leftist, whiny, liberal cowards do because they are afraid to have meaningful discussions.
Oh, you mean like the person that banned me?
Yep.
Thomas Jefferson. Just throwing that out there. It's
What?
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson said that.
There we go.
Okay. I really want...
Oh, wait, no, we can't quote him. He's a racist. He owned slaves.
I really want the ideals and values of libertarianism that libertarianism promotes to succeed. But if we're ever going to make any real headway in this world, we need to be able to recognize and attend to the issues that we face internally, or else we're just wasting our time.
I couldn't agree more.
Matt, you the man. You the freaking man, Matt.
Matt, you need to tune in far more often.
Yeah, I really think you'd like our show. I think you definitely are in line with us.
I would also like to extend the invitation to partake and be a part of the show.
Yeah, you're welcome to come on the show if you would like.
We can always
I'm pretty sure
Discord
it's from
you
like
in or
South Alabama, so that's probably going to be kind of hard to be
that
on the
we
show.
can Discord him in. You
There
be
you go.
quiet over there.
Discord. Computer things.
Yeah, computer
Tech guy.
Computer
Make it
things.
happen.
Yeah, tech guy that
There
didn't
we
even
go.
know how to make the Stream Deck work with.
Tech
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, Matt makes a lot of good points, and I like Matt.
Yep, yeah, I liked what he said, and he's just saying what really is going on. Okay, so personal viewpoint here is what I feel. I feel there's too many. What's the guy with the boot on his head?
Vermin Supremes.
I feel like there's too many Vermin Supremes and liberals infiltrating the party,
And not enough Joe Jorgensens.
and not enough Joe Jorgensens
or Spike Cohen's.
or Spike Cohen's, and even
Matt.
Spike Cohen even trolls a little bit.
I like Spike.
I like him, but I prefer somebody more like Joe Jorgensen or even dude Ron Paul. Freaking please, Ron Paul, come back, save the party, man. I really
He's
want
still
Ron
alive?
Paul to come back. Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah,
I haven't heard anything about him in like years.
I really want Ron Paul to come back. Like I would probably cry tears of joy if Ron Paul come back.
Matt has accepted the invitation.
It may not be this week, may not be next week, but
Well, it's definitely not going to be this week.
Well,
because we're about
This
to
week's-
wrap up.
Yeah, done.
you know what I mean.
Idiot.
What I mean by this week is this next coming week necessarily because let's see what time it is. No, it's only 10 o'clock. Wow, it's only 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. We're an hour and a half in.
Look at that.
Holy crap! That means we got
It's
another 2
amazing what
hours of
happens
recording.
when we don't screw with things for an hour and a half trying to get them to work.
Well, hey,
Hey, I'm just glad that it all worked the way it was supposed to this week.
yeah, me
Like,
too.
Good job setting it up. Kudos to both of us for getting the Stream Deck so that we can actually.
Look at you giving yourself some credit.
Listen,
Didn't even wait for me to give you no
I said
credit.
both.
Didn't even wait.
I said
Didn't even
both.
wait. What a narcissist.
because we both worked on it.
I'll take props to me for having the cable extensions.
Yeah,
Yes,
go
Cody.
me.
Cody has
Thanks
financially.
to Cody for all the financial help with
Yep,
the.
Cody
like
has
the-
bought stuff.
Woo! Money, things.
It takes a village.
You know the thing.
that thing.
It takes a village.
The things that he bought. So, you know, I mean, honestly, we're just.
Real man of genius.
I love that soundbite. That's my favorite one.
Exactly, Matt. That's what I'm talking about. Like the weirdos are fine, but don't put them in the front for everybody to see.
Yeah, that.
Because then nobody votes libertarian because they're like, look at that
That's-
weirdo. We don't want him leading the
That's
country.
like everybody thinks that Southerners are rednecks because when there's a natural disaster or a tornado, they put the trailer park on the news. instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the normal
Whenever
people.
that's why people think we are all like missing our teeth and are married to our sister because
sounded like a damn train.
won't you know I just come out of my trailer over here and I didn't that sucker will fly through the air and I didn't
I just looked over and I saw my pig fly through the air and I don't know what happened.
It was like dang boomhauer over there, man. Like no, man, you know, man, dang old man, get on over here and then that tornado that man is going on through that field and it just
Matt Skelly makes a good point. You know, so he's right. Weirdos are fine, but too far either way is a huge problem. And you see that especially like in the Democrat Party. Like you've got Joe Manchin who refuses to nuke the filibuster, but then you've got AOC who refuses to take help from good people who are trying to help her grandmother. So like you create a lot of division there.
I thought you were going a complete different direction than that and saying like too much one either way, like Joe.
No.
Chris Halsey is in here.
He's been in here, dude.
You say something again?
Joe is definitely not
never
dating
mind.
his sister.
Wait, are you talking about Joe
Okay,
Biden?
Boomhire. Anyway, so I don't know if you came in late, make sure you go back and watch the rest of the
Just start
the
at the
show.
beginning.
You know,
just start at the beginning.
Start at the beginning, and
Why did I not think Chris Halsey was in here?
I don't know. You're
He
way
chimed
out of the
in
loop
like-
on that one.
Okay, yeah, he
hot minute back.
I think he chimed in when a bunch of people were talking.
Yeah.
It was like at 45 minutes or so. It's been a minute.
Steven asked about Anonymous and Elon Musk. We definitely need to cover that next week.
Yes, that'll be on next week. Even though it's kind of, I mean, I've got it pulled up right here.
Well, let's go. Let's go. I mean,
All
we
right.
got time.
Give me 1 second.
We started early tonight by comparison, man. We got plenty of time. As long as the webcam doesn't die.
Well.
I thought that was Cody's Chris, but no, that's
that's Hulk.
I don't know what Chris is talking about now.
Hold on.
He said Joe dating his sister. He said his sister's daughter. He's making further Row Tide jokes, for lack of a better term.
Hold on. You're friends with Chris Halsey. That's
Yeah.
Hulk.
That's Hulk.
That's Hulk.
Yeah, y'all were talking landscaping thingies.
Hold up. I'm looking this guy up.
Okay, so the anonymous video.
He lives here in Arab?
No. Hulk lives in you live like Harvest or somewhere
Green,
like
I
that.
think.
Because see, I
One of
know a
those.
Chris Halsey that lives here in Arab.
Yes, I know
That's
a Chris Halsey
unfortunate.
that lives here in Arab too.
And he
I know,
smokes meat.
I actually know two of them because Chris is married to a Chris.
Yeah, that's the ones I know.
Oh,
See,
shit.
yeah,
No,
I don't
Chris-
think this is your Chris.
No, it's
No,
not.
this is his Chris.
Yeah, that's Chris.
Because
He
they
just said
literally
it's him.
spell their names exactly the same.
Yes, they do.
That's unfortunate.
So Chris Halsey and Chris Halsey are married to each other, but Chris
His
actually
wife
used to be.
spells her name with a K.
Yes. I've known Chris pretty much my entire life.
Like K-R-I-S?
K
Chris?
Chris or CH Chris?
K Chris.
You know her.
I've known her basically my
Okay.
entire life.
Oh, okay. I probably have too. I just didn't know him. What was her maiden name?
Hell, I don't know.
You known her whole life, man. Come on.
I never knew her maiden name.
All right. It's whatever. It's fair.
Anyway,
Where's Hazard? He needs to be in this too.
anyway,
He spells his name with a K.
Anyway,
He's probably a girl.
so anonymous.
Oh yeah, I had
that-
this looked up. Okay.
Said that Musk's tweets on cryptocurrency have shown complete disregard for an average working person. In a new video directed at Elon Musk, the hacker group Anonymous slammed the Tesla CEO for allegedly mocking hardworking people with his memes from his multi-dollar mansion. Pretty sure that was supposed to be multi-million-dollar mansion. After
Not large
having
mansions.
liquidated their dreams after his public temper tantrums. So...
I had a lot of respect for Anonymous until this happened.
Yeah, well, the thing is Elon replied, not even a good fake Anonymous. The article is behind a paywall, and it looks like Anonymous hacking skills are not enough to get behind it.
Yeah, see, that's one thing they forget is like Elon has people. He knows people.
Joe Rogan thinks Elon's an alien, and it's hilarious.
Well, did you watch the episode where not the first episode, or maybe it was the first episode. One of the because he had him on like twice.
Words.
And one of the episodes he's on there, like I think he like smokes a joint, and at some point Elon's just like they're talking about AI and stuff, and he just starts like zoning out, and he goes, "Yeah, I told him not to do it, but they're not listening." And
Well, that's because he has told them not to do it, and for good reason, But like, that's neither here nor there. But anyway,
but it's just weird how I was just sitting there listening to it, and I was like,
I don't know. I think that this wasn't actually anonymous,
I bet it wasn't,
and
because I think
they're
Anonymous,
just trying to make some headlines, and they succeeded. But the problem is that Elon called them out.
Chris, I agree
So-
wholly with that one.
Yeah, completely.
And Matt, I agree with you wholly on that too. People blaming Elon for their problems and stuff are unwilling to accept their own responsibility.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all know somebody that's unwilling to accept responsibility for their own problems.
Press the button.
Huh?
You talking about Cortez?
Well, I mean, so
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, Representative D. Twitch.
Is one of them, but I was talking about somebody that we three personally know, who I no longer associate with.
Oh, does his name begin with Patrick?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one. I wasn't going to go as far as to say his name, but you know.
That's why I didn't say his last name.
Say his first initial. But it was Patrick.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say his whole name.
You know. It's.
Yeah, I do too, Matt. Like, I think he realizes that, and I think he actually says that during the Joe Rogan interview there.
He says that it's a bad idea for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that he goes into that specific.
I think he does mention that it could be a bad day for humanity, though. Like it could. Well, at first it may be good. Eventually, it's going to turn bad.
Hey, Chris, you can speak for yourself, man. I definitely accept responsibility for all the things that I've had happen to me.
I think we all have our times where we don't want to, though.
Yeah, there's definitely times where I want to be like, no, this is definitely not my fault.
Well, see, you want to talk about AI? Let's get Joe Rogan-y real quick.
Mainly.
Let's get Joe Rogan-y real quick. Okay, do you even think artificial intelligence is possible? Like,
I definitely
I'm talking like true, like they completely think for themselves outside of pre-programmed laws.
I think that it's possible, but I don't think that we will live to see it.
See, but I just don't think. I think the only way of that happening would be to somehow intermingle technology with actual biomaterial. Like you cannot make.
I don't think so. I think that
I don't think you can make a machine completely think for itself.
I think that when you hit quantum computing and like really get it right, you'll start seeing artificial.
But it's still only operating off of mathematical
probabilities
equations.
And
yeah.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? No, like.
But so the thing with quantum computing is that each qubit operates in a state of not. So you know, in particle physics, particles can be either a particle or a wave. They can operate as both.
I don't know jack squat
So,
about that.
So I'm telling you, they can operate as both a particle and a wave.
Okay.
So quantum computing kind of does the same thing. It's both right and not right at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like infinite calculations. Like it can literally.
What makes it make the choice?
I don't know.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be. I feel like that's. See, and that's what keeps me a Christian is because I feel like there's something in there that becomes a soul in us. There's a little spark in us that helps us determine that. You see what I'm saying? I feel like there's something we have that nothing else has that helps us determine logic and reasoning and stuff. And I feel like you cannot teach necessarily. Well, you can teach logic and reasoning, but I feel at some point humanity has to come to its own terms with those things. You see what I'm getting at? Like, and another thing too. Like, see, artificial intelligence, like if it's on a track of a mindset track or a, what do you call it? Like it's talking about something or thinking about something, what's keeping it like, it's not going to be able to go, oh, that's a wall. That wall's white. That wall's white. See, like, I feel like real artificial intelligence could, like, it's going to do that. It could be like, oh, wait, hold on. Look at this. This wall's white. It's not going to just... You see I'm trying to get out of here?
There's machine learning programs out there that are only taught to recognize cats and dogs, but have recognized elephants. Like, artificial intelligence is fully capable of becoming a thing. I just don't think that it will become the thing that Elon's afraid of it becoming until long after we're gone. I don't think you're going to get to that level of capability until quantum computing is like full on. Are we froze?
No.
No,
Still going.
I'm still showing on mine. Yeah, it's just you're being really still.
No, I wasn't. But anyway, so like, yeah, Matt just commented, it can already determine the wall is white. When quantum computing becomes mainstream, when it replaces what we have over here, is when you see artificial intelligence really begin to flourish. But that's going to require things like room temperature superconductors and things like that we currently don't have, and there's really nothing to suggest that we're going to have that anytime soon.
Now, see, here's the thing, though. I know computers can tell, like, the wall is white. I know that. I'm saying what... Like, see, my mind, like, I'm sitting here having a conversation with you, but then I mentally decide, hey, I'm going to turn around and say, that wall is white. And then I'm going to go back to talking to what I'm talking about. See, what in me makes me just all of a sudden decide, you know what? I'm going to stop mid-sentence. I'm going to stop talking about what I'm talking about. I'm literally just going to randomly turn around and go, hey, that wall is white. And then I'm going to turn around and keep going.
But the thing is that an AI would do that without ever missing a beat, because it's capable of making so many more calculations than our brains can process at one time that you would never know that it turned and said, hey, that wall's white. It would just continue with you like it never happened. But to the computer, it definitely did. The computing power that's in that over there is far greater than what's in here ever will be.
Have you watched that movie Transcendence with Johnny Depp?
No.
You need to watch it. I feel like it would really open your mind more about, like, the possibilities of AI.
Chris.
Yeah.
Exactly, Chris.
Anyway.
Like.
Well, the thing is that an artificially created consciousness is not going to suffer from the same type of ailments that a human.
See, that's
would.
what I'm saying. An artificially created consciousness. It's artificially created. That means it is still implemented with a set of laws that it can't operate outside of it. But we don't know that.
How'd that work out for iRobot?
The what?
iRobot?
Yeah, iRobot.
That didn't work out, man. Laws are only so good.
Cody, I think you're muted.
No?
Oh, nope. I see it now.
No, it's talking.
It just looked like you were. Anyway.
See, that's what I'm saying, though, is
you just had it lined up perfectly.
I feel like if it is a machine. Now, if you could find a way to integrate biomaterial, like, say, like you could grow a brain and integrate it into machinery, then we'll talk.
You don't need that, though. All you're asking for is to add stuff to the equation that it doesn't need.
But
because
that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, it needs it.
A processing unit that big in your computer is already capable of outpacing you as a human being in making calculations and computations. The only thing it can't do is think for itself.
But see,
we are headed in that direction. Like, I know what you're saying, but your argument doesn't make sense.
But no, your brain is capable of doing 1,000,000 times more than that computer over there. It's just
not with the speed and precision that it can.
No,
we
but
just can't unlock it.
Yeah, the capability of your brain though is way more than what that has. It's just we as humans can't, we have a hard time, being able to do it. Well, for one, we live a lot longer than that computer, so it doesn't have to worry about, storing all that stuff. See, I'm getting at.
Anyway, we'll table this for later.
And I'm serious, man. You gotta watch more of these video movies. And what's another one with?
Listen,
the movie.
Listen, we're almost at 2 hours right now.
Okay, well, hold on. Some movies to watch: Transcendence with Johnny Depp.
I'm probably not.
No, it's
going
actually
to watch it.
It's actually a really good movie. And another one is with the girl that played Black Widow,
Scarlett
Johansson, where.
You would watch a Scarlett Johansson movie.
Oh, definitely.
What? I'm surprised you haven't seen it. What is that movie, man? Let me look it up real quick.
I probably have seen what you're talking about. She plays that character where the full potential of her mind is unlocked, and she does stuff that is not humanly possible.
Yes.
Because the old adage that like 90% of our brain doesn't get used is completely wrong.
Yeah, that is wrong.
Well, maybe not for you.
Yeah, Joe, you're running at 100% all the time.
Lucy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not possible.
I know what you're saying.
I'm just saying
what
I
you're saying is not
I'm saying what my
What you're
definition of artificial intelligence, I would think is a very hard thing to do.
I mean, I'm going to agree to disagree on that.
And because what makes a machine wake up the next morning and be like, I want eggs for breakfast?
Well, a machine doesn't want eggs for breakfast because a machine doesn't require food.
But what I'm saying, you have to listen to kind of what I'm saying here, like, or what I'm meaning.
I know what you're saying and what you mean.
Okay,
but
so
it
I'm
doesn't
saying,
make logical sense.
What makes a machine decide it wants to go outside?
Machines are capable of doing all of these things that you're saying requires some sense of biology.
But see, that's what I'm saying. What internally makes the machine want to go outside?
An AI, like a true AI,
Right.
only has to be aware that it exists as an AI. Like, it only has to be self-aware.
Right.
And then it's just like us. As far as the decision-making and all of that stuff goes, it will make decisions for its self-preservation over the good of humanity. Unless there are strict governing principles that are encoded into it.
But see, what tells it to that it needs to defend itself? See, we have that encoded in us that we have to
the self-awareness.
It's literally built into the AI. That's part of
That's what I'm saying.
the
Somebody is
processing
still
strand of
telling
the
it
AI.
what to do.
No, your interpretation of AI is not what AI is. Artificial intelligence is a completely conscious entity. Like, it knows that it exists, it knows what it is, and it seeks to preserve itself.
Chris, my son has autism, dude, and the things, dude, the things. My son, I mean, dude, like, you can ask these guys here, like, the things. Am I right? The things.
The GoPro thing, if nothing else, man.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, so, okay, me and Cody are sitting at my computer the other day. We didn't tell you about this. I need to show you this. Matter of fact, you know what, Cody? Pull it up on the screen share. But you can pull it up on the screen share. Okay.
I'm gonna break it? How do I, oh, God,
Hold on,
what do I do?
I'll drive it.
I put it on screen share.
Huh?
I put it on screen share.
Yeah, I know, but I've got to drive it to...
Here, come do the thing. Come do the thing.
I don't know.
I don't remember where you put it. He did a thing.
So take it off the screen share real quick, because I got to go into a folder. Okay. Is this it?
Yeah, Matt, I think you're right.
Okay, put it on screen share. Okay. So Cody, play this. No joke. Nobody told him. Nobody has taught this kid how to operate a GoPro. I had it sitting on my desk one morning, right? And then he just picks it up. He knows it's a camera.
Cheese. Take a cream. Cheese.
Like, nobody taught him how to operate that, but he knew it was running, I guess, and he was saying, say cheese.
That's hilarious.
He's just sitting there trying to figure it out. You got crayons. I mean, it's hilarious. Okay,
All
I
right,
can stop.
we're literally 2 minutes from 2 hours, so let's cut this off. And,
all right. But that's just, I mean, it's just freaking hilarious.
I think this has been a really good show. I'm glad that we had so much interaction tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have like-minded individuals or even people who are on the fence, be sure to share us with them. We'd like to grow. We'd like to get more audience, more interaction. Matt, we will reach out to get you on. Matt, the other Matt, the invitation is still out there for you as well. You just let us know when you want to do that. We'll Discord everybody in and have a good old Good old Tom talking freedom things. So with that, tally ho, lads.
Tally ho.
Oh wait.